Look at Ephesians chapter 1 again, the passage that we read. And sometimes we read these passages all too quickly because there is so much in them. Notice what the Apostle Paul says in verse 21. When Christ ascended, it was far above all rule and authority. Not just above, but far above. It says in the book of Hebrews that he passed through the heavens. What is it that the writers of the New Testament are trying to convey? Is it a matter of distance? No, it's not the distance that is important. It is the dominion that Jesus Christ has. It is a matter of triumph. It isn't just a matter of traveling. What he's trying to say to us is that Jesus Christ is thoroughly and completely above everything else that exists. We read it, didn't we? Far above all rule and authority and power and dominion and every name that is named, and that includes the names of other religious teachers and other religions. Jesus is exalted above all of them. It says in the book of Hebrews that he is crowned with glory and honor, King of kings and Lord of lords. Do you realize today that Jesus will never be any stronger than he is today because he is already omnipotent, infinitely powerful? Do you realize that Jesus will never learn anything and he will never have more knowledge someday than he has today because he is already omniscient, and that means that he knows everything and has infinite wisdom? You know that Jesus Christ will never have a dominion that is bigger than the one that he rules over today because he is omnipresent and exists everywhere and through his Spirit fills the entire universe. He is King. I know what you're thinking. You're saying, well, is it reverent to even ask the question, is he doing a good job? Is he doing a good job? Look at the headlines of the newspapers. Look at what some of you have been through. Look at the abuse that some of you have experienced, and Jesus didn't do anything to help you, you think. Look at the misery index among Americans. I heard of a man who wanted to divorce his wife, so he left, which is usually the first stage of the process, but then he was missing her, and he wrote home to her and said, you know, I'm so miserable without you. I'm as miserable without you as I would be if you were here, he said. What is Jesus doing in heaven? King of kings, Lord of lords. And look at what is happening on planet Earth. Now, my dear friend, you need to be able to distinguish between the present rule of Jesus Christ in heaven, which is a rule of divine restraint. I'm going to ask you to turn to one other passage, and that is to Hebrews chapter 10, which is going to shed a lot of light on what is taking place on planet Earth. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 13, it says, having offered one sacrifice for sins for all time, he sat down at the right hand of God. Now we're at verse 13, Hebrews 10:13. Waiting from that time onward until his enemies be made a footstool for his feet. This is a time of waiting. He is king, he is Lord, but he is waiting. He is giving this planet an opportunity to prove that man cannot rule himself. God wants to prove that not only can men not rule themselves, but even men who are instigated and led by the devil cannot rule themselves. In fact, with that combination, the mess even becomes worse, as will become clear as we hasten on to the time of Jesus Christ's return. So Jesus said, I'm in total control, but this is a time of waiting. We have to distinguish between the time of waiting and then the time of winning. Yes, my friend, Jesus Christ is waiting until his enemies become a footstool for his feet. But yet at the same time, I don't want to give the impression that Jesus Christ is uninvolved in our world. I hope today that He's involved in your life. I know that He's involved in mine. We have the privilege of being able to walk with Him and to know that all of the things that concern us, all of our troubles, all of our anxieties can be put under His sovereign feet. So Jesus Christ is waiting to rule on earth, but He does rule in our hearts. I really do hope and pray that this series of messages is a great blessing to you. I preached it that people might be encouraged, that they might know the difference between Jesus Christ and other religious options. I hope that you'll take advantage of the opportunity that you have to get the CDs of this particular series. Share them with your college friends. Share them with those who are going through doubts, because Jesus indeed is King of Kings, Lord of Lords.
Dr. Erwin Lutzer with Part 2 of An Extraordinary Ascension, the seventh message in his series, Christ Among Other Gods. Tomorrow, more on the promise of His return. Running to Win comes to you from the Moody Church in Chicago. We believe Erwin Lutzer's current series is shedding needed light on our understanding of Jesus. And in book form, Christ Among Other Gods will be sent as our thank you when you give a gift of any amount to support Running to Win. Just call us at 1-800-215-5001. That's 1-800-215-5001. Online, go to offerrtw.com. That's offerrtw, all one word.com. Or write to Running to Win at Box 11174, Chicago, Illinois 60611. This is Dave McAllister. Join us for tomorrow's Running to Win.